Welcome to Doom Eternal's Battle Mode. This 2 vs 1 multiplayer gives players the chance to experience the fast, aggressive fun of single player with their friends. With 5 playable demons and 6 unique maps at launch, Battle Mode is a whole new way to play Doom.
Deathmatch has been a very important part of Doom's multiplayer legacy. I mean, Doom was the first game to help coin the term deathmatch to begin with. Doom 2016 brought back deathmatch and all of the other game modes in its multiplayer, and it got a lukewarm reception. I personally got a kick out of it and played a lot of Doom 2016 multiplayer, but I think that first open beta really left a bad impression for some reason. The multiplayer in Doom 2016 wasn't handled by id Software, and while it was a competent multiplayer mode, it didn't reinvent the wheel. I feel like the movement of Doom 2016 really hindered the multiplayer, since you weren't zipping around like you would in Quake, for example. Doom 2016's multiplayer felt more like Halo than Doom or Quake, and that pissed a lot of people off. Still though, I really enjoyed the multiplayer, but it didn't have that id Software touch. I think from then on, id Software had a real chip on their shoulder about Doom 2016's multiplayer offerings, and they wanted to give fans a new experience with Doom Eternal. This is where Battle Mode comes in, and I haven't given it a proper go yet, so I can't say whether I fully like it or not. From my limited time playing, I had a fine experience, but it didn't blow me away or anything. Instead of standard deathmatch, Battle Mode pits one Doomslayer up against 2 demons, and they get to slug it out. id Software's intention was to bring the single player campaign and the multiplayer mode closer together, and make Doom Eternal into a more consistent experience across the board.
The last multiplayer we made was not super well received. It was a really competent, good multiplayer, but it
What was that?
It was just Doom 2016's multiplayer experience, but it really wasn't innovative enough. Like, fans wanted to see us do something new, so we basically took the single player experience, that combat loop that you'll master, and then we give you a way to do it with your friends. It's a 2v1, so it'd be 2 of you guys versus one guy gets to be the Slayer with all the guns.
This is commendable, and id Software definitely provided something unique for the player, but did it pay off? Well, I do feel like id Software was given a bit of a raw deal to begin with. I mean, people complained that Doom 2016's deathmatch wasn't inventive enough, and then with Battle Mode, people complained that it didn't stick to the roots of Doom and Quake multiplayer. The idea of Doom Eternal Deathmatch has been floating around for a while, but I'm very skeptical on whether a more traditional multiplayer will ever find its way in the game. After id Software stepped aside and let another developer create the Doom 2016 multiplayer, I bet they are treating Battle Mode like their baby, and they don't want to cast it aside for standard deathmatch stuff. Anybody can tell that they put a lot of time into Battle Mode, and I think they would rather improve on what they have already than scrap it entirely for something new. I mean, they are in the process of giving Battle Mode new maps and playable demons, and that sounds exciting. They also took a few chances with Doom Eternal, and for some people, not all of the choices that id Software made paid off. I know that some people love Doom 2016, but don't really like Doom Eternal for its resource management elements and the different tone it sets. This extends down into Battle Mode. id Software took a risk with Battle Mode by giving players something completely unique to chew on, and it split the community. While it kinda bums me out that people were unsatisfied with Doom Eternal's multiplayer, I would rather the developers put themselves out there and make something out of passion like they did with Battle Mode. id Software could have easily made standard deathmatch modes, but they didn't because they wanted to try something new. While I am completely ruling out any possibility of them adding deathmatch into Doom Eternal, I can see it making a return in the next Doom game, whenever that's going to come out. I've noticed that new id Software loves sticking to their guns and doubling down on gameplay elements that they think work, and I think Battle Mode falls under that umbrella. They will more than likely double double down on battle mode and improve that multiplayer for the people that really get something out of it, and in the next Doom game, whenever that will come out, they will probably make a brand new multiplayer mode. I would love to see a new and improved deathmatch with dashing and meat hook traversal, and I think many other people would love to see that too. However, I don't see it coming in Doom Eternal. I'm not saying that because of limited time and resources on id Software's parts. I bet they could make a multiplayer mode similar to the one seen in Doom 2016 fairly easily, but I doubt they will. Again, Doom 2016's multiplayer got an okay reception, and I think id Software took that as, oh, this wasn't creative enough, we need to reinvent the multiplayer component of our Doom games. I respect that, and even though I'm not the biggest battle mode fan, I've got to appreciate that they are trying new things. The people that love battle mode really seem to love it, and there is plenty of diehard support for that multiplayer mode. While I have tremendous respect for Hugo, I don't necessarily agree with his philosophy on what makes an inventive multiplayer mode. I don't think an excellent multiplayer needs to be a one-to-one adaptation of the game's single-player mode. I understand why they would want to do that, because a lot of the great multiplayer modes that we've seen throughout gaming are very similar to their single-player counterparts, but I don't think this is an exclusive trait. I also get that they want to make battle modes similar to their campaign, especially because Doom Eternal has such a strong single-player mode, but I feel like people would have been content with Doom 2016 multiplayer with dash and meat hook added. id Software doesn't want people to be content, and they strive to be original and creative with battle mode, which is great, but I hope that we see more multiplayer modes out of the gate with the next Doom game. So, deathmatch in Doom Eternal, is it ever going to happen? I believe that it's a firm no at this point, and I think that's somewhat due to the reception they got on Doom 2016's multiplayer, but not in the way you think. I don't think they looked at the reviews of Doom 2016's multiplayer and thought, oh, people don't like this, we shouldn't do this again. Instead, I think they looked at the reviews for Doom 2016's multiplayer and went, we need to reinvent the multiplayer wheel. Our campaign mode is so refreshing, and our multiplayer needs to reflect that. That's just my personal observations though. Also, id Software already has their multiplayer franchise with Quake, so if you need your deathmatch fix, play Quake Live or Quake Champions. What do you think about Doom Eternal having deathmatch, and what are your thoughts on battle mode as it is? I personally need to dive more into battle mode and find out what all the fuss is about, but that's going to do it for me on this video. I would love to hear your thoughts on what multiplayer modes they should add after battle mode in Doom Eternal, if they ever will, and how should they reinvent the multiplayer again for their next Doom game. Let me know in the comment section below, and I thank you for watching.